Hi, thank you for joining me today for another process video, and today I'm digging into some older stash. I'm using Vicki Boutin Fernwood, but I am going to pair it with some newer products as well. So first of all, I'm going in with my Shimmerz paints in the colour green olive. This is one of their Shimmerz. So you can see I've just watered it down on my mixed media mat there, and I'm using my brayer to roll it down the centre of the page. I just wanted to get a nice wide strip. I'm going to be creating one of my favourite layouts today, a vertical one. And I've got 4 photos that I've printed out, one of each of the 4 of us, me and my family, and I printed them all onto a 4x6 paper, so each photo is 2x3. I've just brayered all that on, and now I'm adding some splatters just to create a bit of texture and interest to the background paper, and then I'll move that to one side to dry. So while that's drying, I've just pulled in another blank 12x12 just so that I can start building the layers of paper that I want behind my photos. So as you can see, this is Fernwood. I don't have a lot of it left anymore, but I had enough to create this because when I'm doing layouts like this, it really doesn't take up that much paper. So I'm just going to create some strips to add down the centre of the page to layer on top of that mixed media. So I've pulled out the bluey greens. That's why I thought this collection would work perfectly. We were at a local farm shop. If you watch my video on Sunday, it's the same farm shop that I went to with Julie on Friday, and I decided to take the family back there on Saturday. This is the story of my life. Whenever I do something with one person, I want to do it with everybody else. I'm resisting the urge to take mum and dad up there this week as well. It's such a lovely place. So as I say, I'm just creating some strips. You can see the papers that I've pulled out there. That one on the right hand side is a very deep brown wood grain effect, like a coffee coloured wood grain, and I just thought that would work really nicely with these photos. There's a lot of greenery in the cafe, and you can see that in the photos along with the brown of the table. So I just thought that these colours work perfectly, and that's why Fernwood came to mind. Somebody mentioned that the other day, just about how beautiful Fernwood is, and I remembered I still have a little bit left. Like I say, not very much at all. I think I've cut into the last 12x12 paper that I've got there now, so probably enough for 2 or 3 layouts. I've still got some of the stickers and things. Those bits go on forever, don't they, from the Vicki Boutin collections. So I'm just gluing all of this together using my PVA glue. Now I added the glue a little bit too far over on that piece, so it is on that blank card that I use for my base, but it's not a problem because I will cover it the next time I use it, or I can use it for die cutting or something. So I've resisted the urge thus far not to distress the edges, but I just can't do it. So I'm going in with my fingernails and just distressing all those edges. I think it was the fact that I used that pinky orange paper. I suppose it's like a peach colour, isn't it? And it had a torn edge, and that was enough just to make me want to do it. But distressing the edges like this also gives definition between the different papers. Otherwise it just looks like a flat piece on your page, and I really wanted to show that these are all different strips that have been layered together. So bringing that background back in, and look, I've done the same that I do every single time. I have completely covered up the mixed media. So I'm going back in again now with the same green olive Shimmerz, and just extending the sides of that mixed media out so that it does still peek out from behind these strips. I'll never learn, will I? Every time I create a layout. This is why I tend to create the mat and then add the mixed media afterwards, because I can do a pencil line and see exactly where the mat's going, so that I don't cover it all up. But there you go. So just making sure that it's all rolled in. When you use a brayer to add mixed media, the more you roll, the faster it dries. So I tend to have a really good go over it so that it's almost instant drying. So this is roughly how I want to stagger my photos. I've added a very thin white border to them using just some scrap white cardstock. I decided it would make them pop a bit more against these dark colours, because some of the photos are quite dark as well. I've pulled in my 49 and Market Ticket Essentials. I absolutely love these. This set is the Sage Ticket Essentials. Some really nice greens in that collection, and then we've got the newer one that they brought out recently as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but there is a new green one. So just ticking a few of those above the middle of the photos, and then another one at the bottom, and distressing the edges again just to provide some texture on the background, and then I'll glue that down next to the photo of me. There we go. So it's already very layered up and I absolutely love the look of that. I'm trying to keep the positioning of the photos because I'm happy with how they are. So I'm just going to come in with 2 of the Sticks 2 foam pads on each of the photos. These are 25mm or 1-inch foam pads that come on a huge roll from Sticks 2. They're absolutely brilliant. We sell them at Hey Little Magpie and I love them. I know Helen Ding is a huge advocate of these as well. They are great foam pads. So just sticking everything down before I carry on. Now this photo mat isn't actually stuck to the background yet. The background card is still loose, but once the photos are down, I will be able to stick that down just so that it's central. I just want to get the photos in place first because that can affect how you want it to be centered on the page. Almost there, last one. There we go, and I'm overlapping the photo of me over the top of the one of Amelia because it's just a picture of my plate that is overlapping, so that doesn't bother me. So just getting that stuck down, and then I'll bring in my T-square ruler just to check that it is all straight, which it is, thank goodness, more or less. Just moving it a tiny bit. That's why I love using wet glue, because you have that opportunity to move things around before it dries. Just checking that it's up to the top, and there we have it. So these are some die cuts that I created using one of the new All and Create dies earlier. Just using some black scrap cardstock, and I'm just going to tear little bits of that off and stick it down the edges of the papers just to create a little bit more interest. I absolutely adore these borders. I love the ruggedness of them. So just adding 2 little bits to the right hand side and then doing the same again on the left. It's a different die from the same set from All and Create, but a different shape. Again, another border. So just adding that tucked under there. And now I'm coming in with the new element of the products that I'm using today. This is from Elle Studio and it's their Let's Eat puffy stickers. Now I must confess, my friend Julie had a set of these on Friday and she did influence me. When I saw them I thought, yeah, really should take some of these because I do scrap an awful lot of meals out, so they're perfect for that. So I've cut out one sticker that says Let's Eat, and then on the other side I wanted to add this one that says Scrumptious, and they're a beautiful scripty font, nice and thin, so they don't add too much bulk to the layout, but they just add that something if you want a little title on there. So now I'm looking through some of the labels that were on there, and I'm going to pull out 3 in the end. I've got one that said This Was Delicious in white, one that says Let's Do This Again in black, and then a further one that says Lunch, because we did go up there for lunch. So now I'm going to stick these down, and I was just pulling out the little extra bits that are on those letters, and I have to add the little apostrophe there. And I find it easier to cut them off with the backing intact, just so that I can lay them out and check I'm happy with the positioning before I commit to sticking it down. So there's the 3rd sticker that I've brought in. That says This Was Delicious. Sorry, the 2nd one, and then this is the 3rd that says Lunch. And I will actually move that down in a bit once I start further with my embellishments. So the S was separate from the Scrumptious. So just sticking that down first, and then I'll add the rest of it to the side there, and then I'll bring in the dot above the eye, which obviously is separate. So there we go, that's the titles, she says. I had to use the pin from my glue to get that in place because it's such a tiny little dot. So just looking through to see what else there is on this sticker sheet, and I find the dinner plate with the knife and fork, so adding that. And then this little tab that's got a knife, fork and spoon, so I add that to the top. I just think that looks really cute there. So now I'm going to come in with my journaling. So on the right hand side of the layout where I'm writing here, I've just put Back to the Hollies with this lot on Saturday, Too Good Not To. And then on the left hand side, So Nice Just to Get Out. So this will go next to the page that I created of Julie on Sunday. So it'll work in my album. So now I'm going to go through my old stickers in this lovely file that I created. So I find one, I think these are from Sweet Rush from Vicki Boutin, one that says Today that goes above the photo of James, and then I'm just ripping off this little label piece, and then adding the other down the right hand side of that one of James, and that actually completes that sticker sheet. So it's nice to get one out of the book. And then just looking through these word phrases, and I find one that says when we are together, because we have such a lovely time when we're together. The kids are at that age now where it's just, they're great company, and it really is lovely to get out and chat. Our lives are so busy, it's nice just to have that time together now. So I moved that puffy sticker that says lunch down above that one that says let's do this again. It's next to the photo of Amelia, just so that I had space to put that when we are together sticker down. And then these are very old My Mind's Eye stickers, and I just chose some that says the most awesome, and then the sticker underneath says lunch. So I thought that looked quite nice and fills that in nicely. And then there was one that said brother and one that said sister, so I just decided to add those to the pictures of the kids. So I think that's pretty much it out of those stickers. I do find these, I think these are old Lily B stickers. So I'm adding a little tab at the top there, and then another flag next to the knife, fork and spoon. Again, they're just adding little bits of interest. There's that little stripy star that I've added up there as well. Or I'm about to add, yep, there it is. Just adding that up there. Messing about, deciding where to put it. And then coming in with my whole reinforcer punch, of course, the old favourite, just using black card just to add a few of these around the page. So as I say, just a few around the page, keeping it tight to the central line that I've got going on. I don't want to expand too far out to the sides. And some of them you can barely see because they're on those very dark colours, but they do add a texture. I also wanted to bring in some tangled thread, so just adding some black at the top left-hand corner of that photo of James, and then I'll add some between the photo of myself and Amelia in that corner that's been created there. If you've watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I like to balance things out by mirroring them. So if I do something on one side of the layout, I'll add it to the other side. But because I've got so many stickers on the right-hand side, I decided that that little corner there between our two photos would work really nicely for this tangle. So just squeezing a load of PVA underneath so that the thread gets held in with it, using the nozzle of the glue just to help push that in. And then I'll go around and stick these little hole reinforcers down. And I love the black that is being brought in, but I just want to bring a little bit more. So a couple more of these hole punches. And then I'm going to come in with another one of the Shimmerz paints. And this, again, it's another Shimmerz, and it's in the colour Coal. And I will once again just add it to that glass mat that I've got. Gosh, I really do go ham with these hole reinforcers, don't I? Almost there with them now. So here I am covering up my photos just to make sure they don't get the black splatters all over them. And then this coal, I just water down again and using a smaller brush to get finer splatters. I just bring a little bit onto the mat. Add some water. And then add some very fine splatters, holding the brush nice and high, and like I say, a smaller brush, and you'll get the smaller splatters there. So just moving the card around so that I get the splatters close to the edges of the photos without actually getting them on them. Adding more water as is needed, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed this process video. It was great fun digging into some older stash and getting it used up. See you again Thursday. Bye.